Okay, so this is the main, obviously you've got the two mud flaps, there's a fitting kit, but the key to this first part is the brackets. So if you hold the brackets with these two grooved areas upwards, you'll notice that on the underside, one of them's got like a dog leg and the other one's straight. Well, this one, the straight one, is the left hand side. Okay, the one with the bend is the right hand side. Okay, so that's as you're sat in the car. So we're on the left hand side. We're going to fit the left hand side of the mud flap for the video. It's pretty much the same for the other side, so we'll just video the fitting of the one side. So basically what we've got to do is get this bracket mounted inside here. We'll show you that, but we'll follow the Land Rover instructions. And basically the first step is to get the mud flap in place. Now the critical thing when you're looking at this is, perhaps if we come around this side and have a look, is making sure where you've got this little kink here that you've got that lined up. So with that lined up in place, the first thing we need to do is mark out where these two holes go. So what we're going to do there is we've just got one of these super paint pens, okay, which is good to see on the video. So we've marked the two holes, we've run a bit there, but you can clearly see where the centre is. So that's the first step that you need to do. So next we've got to do is remove this fixing here. So this is one of these plastic rivet fittings, and basically if you screw, you should better just wind out the plastic middle bit. Okay, screw it pretty gently. When you get it to a certain point, you should be able to grab that out. Then what we've got to do is we've got to pull out this whole fitting. Now you might better get it with your fingers. Yep. Or you might need to just lever something under the back, but I'll show you the fitting. Okay, so what you've got here, I'll get some of the mud off for you. So you've got one of these little rivet type fittings, and as you put the screw in, it forces these apart. So if you just put that in there and keep that to one side, because we need to reuse that later. So the next fitting screw, you won't be able to see, but if I just give you a direction where it is, and this again is a crosshead, but this is a self-tapping, just a normal metal self-tapping screw. So if we wind that one out, okay, so there we go. So that's the self-tapping screw, and again we'll need to reuse that one later. So put that one to one side. Right, now the next thing to do is we need to remove this corner section here. So what you need to do is get a grip of it just on the edge here. Now there's two poppers here and there's a tongue on the end of the sill. So let's just pull the top off. Okay, so let me show you that first. So there's these two little sort of nipple bits here that dock into two plastic fittings on the inside. Now the next thing we need to do is, if you look at the bottom, there's a tongue here, and you need to slide this section over. If I just shake some of the mud out, so you've got this U-shape bit here that this is fitted into. So that's what we need to take out. So this is the little plastic section we've removed from the car, and here's the two holes. So we need to use an 8mm drill, or roughly 8mm drill, and we're just going to drill these out. So get them in the right place. Okay, there's one. Okay, so we drilled the two holes, okay? So is this round hole here. Now actually on this bracket it is the only round hole, so all these other holes are slotted. So it's the round hole, so focus on the round hole. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to reuse our plastic rivet fitting, and we're going to go through this hole here, through this, and what it'll do is it'll clamp this in place. So if I just feed this in, and so we're looking to line up the round hole. If we get it in right, we should be able to see the hole in the metal. It's got full of mud, so it might be worth cleaning it before you attempt this. There we go. Okay, and then you can push the plastic fitting in. Okay, you don't need to push the little plastic rivet in all the way. And basically now what you've got is this can now rock this. And what we need to do is push it so that we get it completely lying flat underneath. Okay, and what we then need to do is mark round a section. I'll show you with it off the car perhaps, but I'll show you where we need to mark round with our orange pen. So let me mark that round and I'll come back and show you where I've marked. Okay, so if you just try and see where we are here, so this will make more sense when you're doing it. But if you look underneath, I've now got the metal bracket on the outside going down here. And so this metal bracket can, as I say, rock about that top rivet. And if I pull it out, you can see what I've done is I've just marked on the bottom there where it needs to be cut out. And basically it's the bit that when you've got it in place, now you can see it's in place. Can you see the slot there? You can see that hole's lined up. And then I've marked all around the perimeter of where the bracket goes, and we'll cut that out. And while I had the pen, I also marked out, so on the front edge of the car, okay, you've got the two holes in the brackets that also need to put screws in. So you need to just take a little chunk out around there so the screw can find the slot. Okay, so it's just two marks. So it's three bits you need to cut out. One here, and then the bit underneath at the bottom of the bracket. Okay, so we'll get on and do that now and join you again. Okay, so I've cut the top one and then the second one down, and I was going to have a go at videoing while cutting the bottom one, but I'm sure it'll go horrendously wrong. But we're just using sort of a typical Stanley knife, and obviously be careful when you're doing it, but the plastic is quite soft, as you can see here. I'm just going to go along it a couple of times. Obviously careful using, you should use the blade away from yourself, but it's a little bit tricky to do that on the video. There you go. So you can see that's got through that now. So if we do, I'll just finish that now. But basically you can use a small hacksaw, but a Stanley knife is the ideal way of doing it. There you go. You can see I've cut that through there. So I'll just finish cutting that and I'll join you again. So now we've got them all cut out. Again, I'll show you the top two again, and then the bottom one there, we've got this cut out. So that all gives clearance. Now it doesn't matter if you make a bit of an untidy job, because all this will be covered up. And here you can see the screw hole mounting that we'll mount the bracket to in a minute. Okay.